feel like this is so different than usual. Okay, that looks a little bit more on point. So, hello, how are you guys doing? I am, of course, going live for 30 days of lives with Kenya, aka PowerInYourCurl. I believe we're on day 12 right now. I'm honestly not sure. I'm gonna have to count before we get off of here to see how many days that we have done so far. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Today is day 13 of 30 Days of Lives. Hi, Natasha. How are you? And today I'm feeling a bit generous, just a bit. And we're going to do a live natural hair Q&A. So with this live, I am looking to kind of help you all maybe break apart some of the issues that you've been struggling with for a while, and give you some direction, lead you to some resources that could help you. So yeah. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate that. So I got my water as always. I'm actually doing pretty good on water today. I've almost finished a gallon for the day. So. Julie says, I'm so thankful for these lives. Sorry if that's loud. I'm glad you're thankful. Hi, Michelle Lee. Ashley, I'm doing pretty good. If you guys are into like astrology and, you know, the cosmos and the celestial bodies, it's Mercury retrograde. So I'm being very intentional. I'm going slow. Mercury retrograde can kind of like inhibit communication. Technology issues are a theme. So I'm just I'm trying my best to go slow and be patient and take every delay that comes up as, a lesson to teach you. So hi, Toya. Hi, Kamiko, Alicia. Hi, everybody. Okay, I think we're probably gonna have like a smaller class today, which makes sense. It's Monday, you know, that's fine. Hi, Devin. So what I was saying before some of you all got in here, we're going to have a live Q&A today where I'm going to answer just a few questions to help you guys kind of break down some of the blocks that you may have been experiencing in your journey. So if you've been kind of stuck at some point, we're going to talk about that collectively, and whatever you're experiencing, you might be able to actually help somebody else with, which is why I wanted to do this like community wide, I guess you could say, so we can help. So if you guys want to drop some questions in the chat, maybe around like, where are you currently struggling with your hair? What are you running into that you would like some insight or some guidance on? I'm actually happy that the class is a bit smaller today, so that way we can really focus in on the people who are present right now. And as you guys are typing your questions, I'm going to remind you that if you haven't purchased the Porosity Masterclass, you can go ahead and click the link down below. Of course, for those of you who may not know, the Porosity Masterclass is basically teaching you how to identify your porosity and then how to use that information to build a regimen that actually honors your porosity. So you're not just trying to pull something out of thin air and then being disappointed when maybe it doesn't work as well as you want it to. That class is jam-packed with information, and it really breaks it down like to the T per porosity. So you're definitely going to get your investment's worth of that class. And you can purchase it by clicking the link in my description box. It's the very first link. And if you're new here, my name is Kenya and I'm the Curl Coach. And I really like to create spaces on the internet for women, everyday women who do their hair, making it simpler for you, helping you master your specific hair, not watching me do my hair, although that can be helpful. Actually helping you understand your specific hair so you can build a regimen around your hair identity and really get the results you're looking for. So I am seeing, Devin says, I ordered the Curl Origin Double Mask Deep Conditioner. The promo code is Love30, today's last day. Devin, I went in. I ordered a lot of products today from Curl Origin because I wanted to branch out from the usual products I try. So I definitely re-upped on all my favorites, and then I got in a lot more. So I'm probably going to be doing a haul, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, that was my self-care for the day. Just loving on myself with Curl Origin. So let's start with Myrna. Myrna says, how should I trim my hair? Wet and twist or blown out? So Myrna, and anyone also wondering this question, there's no truly wrong way to trim your hair as long as you're honoring your hair preferences. So if your hair is something, if your hair is someone, quote unquote, that doesn't like heat, then I wouldn't recommend blowing your hair out to trim, just because you can definitely trim without using heat at all. So if your hair doesn't mind heat, you can trim when it's blown out. Trimming and twist doesn't give you the most thorough trim, but it's like it's good enough if you're trimming at home on your own. So you can do it wet and twist or blown out. I'll say that wet, probably for me specifically, it gives me a better handle on my hair because I'm able to detangle it as thoroughly as I need to. I can feel the knots. I can feel where it starts to get wispy. So it's really just what's easier for you since you're at home taking care of your hair. And then if you're going to a salon, honestly, you can have your preference of how you like your hair to be trimmed, because there are like a bunch of different ways that different salon stylists like to trim hair. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but basically stick to what your hair likes and what's easiest for you, basically. And hopefully that answers your question. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Julie says, my biggest issue is shedding and wondering if I need a protein treatment. So I know that that's something that you're experiencing, Julie. And of course, for those of you who may not have seen it already, we've already done a live on excessive shedding, how much is too much, breaking down the difference between shedding and breakage. And what I didn't mention in that video is that you can do something called a black tea rinse to kind of help with excessive shedding that's caused by some external force. I know Julie had mentioned that she feels like maybe some of the products she was using has been causing the shedding. So possibly looking into black tea rinses might be able to help you, Julie. And with the protein treatment, we have done a class on deep conditioning and protein treatments. So the signs of needing a protein treatment are you're experiencing more breakage than usual. Your hair is feeling more weak, vulnerable, maybe even brittle. It's frizzier than normal, like maybe in your problem areas it's frizzier, and that can just mean like it needs to be smoothed with the protein. So if you're experiencing any of that, then you might need a protein treatment. And also if you haven't had a protein treatment in at least a month, and I mean like a protein deep conditioner. Protein treatment sounds like maybe you're thinking of something a little bit more intense. So if you're just experiencing excessive breakage, then you might need a protein treatment. I hate frizz. I love frizz. It helps, at least it helps my hair get voluminous. So I love frizz. Frizz happens, like with curly hair, it happens because our hair responds to the environment. And I just don't fight it. I let it do its thing. So let's see. Is there a difference between silk or satin bonnets? So there is a difference. It's like a slight difference. Silk can be a bit more gentle on your hair just because it's such a soft fabric, and it's such a delicate fabric. It can be a little bit more gentle on your hair. But honestly, using a satin bonnet is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. So it's really your preference and also like your bougie level. Like I feel that eventually I probably am going to invest in like silk scarves and silk bonnets and a silk pillowcase. But right now I use satin and my hair is completely fine. So really it's just for my sake that I'm kind of elevating up to the silk. And it's a little bit more expensive as well, the silk. And also I'll say too, that sometimes you'll buy a satin scarf, quote unquote satin, and really it's like a satin polyester type thing. And that is not that great. It can trap like heat and make your hair really sweaty, and it can be not so enjoyable to wear. So cheaper satin really is what you might want to look out for. Cheaper satin blends, I mean. Alrighty, let's see. Okay. So, how can I keep my hair moisturized with wearing a wig unit? So, Melissa, from hearing that, it sounds like you're able to take the wig off like at night. So I would say just wearing your hair in some type of low manipulation style, like cornrows, braids, twist, um, flat twist, like any style. Like if you have been watching my videos, I've been wearing like 2 cornrows. Wearing your hair in a way that it's not just out will help you retain moisture, and then making sure that you're re-moisturizing your hair as often as you need to beneath the wig. So maybe it's on a daily basis in the morning before you put the wig on, maybe it's morning and night, maybe it's every 2 days, making sure that you're doing something to consistently apply a little bit of moisture back into your hair as you need it throughout the week. And you can do that by spritzing your hair with water and then applying like a leave-in or a cream or any product that your hair really like accepts easily when your hair is dry. And I would also make sure that you're consistently caring for your hair on a weekly basis through your wash day, making sure that you're cleansing consistently if that's what your hair needs, making sure that you have a moisture-rich regimen already lined up. Now, I do have a live on this. It's called 5 Reasons Why Your Hair is So Dry. I would go back and watch that if you're having issues with dryness, because that really will break that down for you. Because having moisturized hair starts on wash day. You have to make sure that you're properly cleansing and then properly installing moisture at the very start of the week in order to have, moisture throughout the week. So yeah. Let's see. I see someone saying, in a previous live, I heard you mention that you condition your hair followed by the use of deep conditioner. After shampoo, I always use a deep conditioner, then a conditioner. That's interesting. What's the difference? That's interesting. So what I do is I will shampoo my hair, and then I will apply a conditioner, a really high quality conditioner, to add moisture back into my hair and then to detangle my hair. And that's really because I like to just have my hair detangled before I deep condition, because my hair can get very, very tangly. And most deep conditioners that I've used in the past didn't have enough slip for me to detangle with. And plus I used to use a lot of conditioner to detangle. So I've just gotten into the habit of always just using a conditioner to detangle. So there really isn't, you don't necessarily have to do that step if you have a deep conditioner that gives you slip, that you feel like you're not overusing, like you're not quote unquote wasting it. And you can definitely detangle with your deep conditioner. So there's not really a difference, like, because the deep conditioner is going to restore moisture in your hair even more than a rinse out conditioner would. It's really just so that I can detangle after I shampoo my hair. But honestly, recently I have just been using the Curl Origin Double Moisture Mask to detangle with, and that mask can do anything. Like I'm in love with this mask. I basically ran out of my detangling conditioner one wash day, and I just started using that deep conditioner just because I kept forgetting to go to the store to get my detangling conditioner, and it works just as well, if not better. I don't even use that much conditioner, and then I can go straight into deep conditioning because I'm already applying the product to my hair. So in the instance of your question, though, if you're saying that you will use a deep conditioner and then use a rinse out conditioner, I would almost think that the rinse out conditioner step might be a little bit unnecessary, because your deep conditioner is going to give you deep, intensive moisture. If you're using a quality deep conditioner, it should give you deep, intensive moisture. It should deliver nutrients to the cortex of your hair shaft. And there's really no reason to follow that up with a rinse out conditioner, because that's not penetrating as deep. And it's not really adding anything after your deep conditioning session. Unless you feel like it is, then stick with it. But you might be able to cut out a step there if you want. So Beth says, that's what I used to. Okay, perfect. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. I did see someone say, how do you properly care for bleached blonde ends? And that's a really, really good question. If you went to a stylist to have your ends dyed bleach blonde, I would recommend following their advice, because the thing about dyeing your hair and then having like the hair care afterward is that it really does depend on the condition of your hair that it started in. So I would reach out to the stylist who performed the color to ask her what you should be doing. And then if you did the coloring on your own, whew, that's a very personal question. And it's difficult for me to answer personal hair care questions like on a live, which is why I have my hair coaching that you can learn more about in the description box, where I work with women for a month at a time and we get very clear on the current condition of your hair and your hair goals. And then I build a regimen for you to help you get to where you want to be. So if you were my client, I would basically want to be implementing protein treatments as needed for your hair porosity and your hair type. And just making sure that you're regularly keeping your hair balanced between protein and moisture through the wash day deep conditioning sessions, as well as the products that you're using throughout the week. So that's a very personal question, basically. Okay, these are some pretty good questions. Michelle says, what are your thoughts on uneven hair growth? I'm right-handed and I'm being equally gentle on both sides, but my right side is consistently shorter than my left. Ideas. I think that our bodies are also like mysteries, you know, so there is no standard of like hair growth. It's really like what's normal for you. So if you notice that your right side is consistently shorter than your left, always, like even when you were a child, then maybe you do just have like, you know, just different rates of hair growth around your head. But if this is something that's relatively new, like over the past maybe 1 to 3 years, there may be other reasons why this is happening. It could be that you're equally gentle on both sides of your head. Maybe there's a style that you do. Do you consistently like maybe do your hair in a side style where there's more tension on one side of your head versus the other? Are you sleeping with satin? Are you sleeping on cotton? Like, is there something that could possibly be drawing the moisture out of one side of your head? Like if you only lay your head down on one side of the pillow and it's like a cotton pillow. I feel that if that was happening to me specifically, I would be thinking of like, what do I do on this side of hair that could be different than the other side that might be causing more breakage? Maybe not a different rate of growth, but more breakage. But if it's honestly something that you've always had your entire life, that just might be how it is. I sleep on my left side more and it's shorter. And this is someone else saying. And so if that were the case, then I would want to make sure, I would want to make sure that, you know, you're protecting the side that you sleep on. So Michelle says that my mom did say that my left was more cooperative than the other. I sleep on satin and I toss and turn. So then that makes me feel, if that were me, because I've actually had the situation in my crown, I wouldn't say it's more or less cooperative. It's more so that my crown is a completely different texture than the rest of my hair. And in my opinion, it's easier. The rest of my hair is easier than my crown because my crown is a bit more brittle. I have to be way more gentle. I have to handle it completely different than the rest of my hair. And so for a long time in my regimen, my hair journey, excuse me, my crown was consistently shorter than the rest of my hair, not because it grew any less quickly, but because I was breaking it off, because I was not treating it differently. Like it needed a completely different type of treatment than the rest of my hair. So once I realized that, what I did was I just cut all the damage out of my crown. My crown was like a bit shorter than the rest of my hair for a few months. And I made sure that I gave my crown what it needed. So that meant more protein treatments for that area. Sometimes I would do moisture treatments, but my crown needed a protein treatment. So I would do a protein treatment. I would make sure that I was extra gentle when detangling because it would be so brittle. And so I just had to basically change up how I cared for that section. I couldn't treat it like the rest of my hair. And now it's basically caught up with the rest of my hair and it grows consistently and retains length consistently. So let's see. I saw someone ask, I've noticed that trimming has been a huge part of your hair health. And growth. Would you say that you've had to trim a lot more length off on each trim since your hair has grown so long to maintain your ends? That's a pretty good question. I actually haven't. So I find that the more often I trim, the less I trim. You guys have probably seen this in some of my trimming videos where I trim off like like this much hair, like it's like so small. And that's because when I'm really on it, like trimming every 3 months, like making sure the condition of my ends is staying on point, I don't need to trim off barely anything. I kind of just trim it as a preventative measure just in case there's some damage in there, because I know it's in there. Hair is going to get damaged. Like, that's just the truth. So I kind of just trim as a preventative measure when I'm trimming on schedule. But I have noticed that when I don't trim on schedule, like just recently I trimmed in January after 6 months of not trimming, because I had noticed, oh, my ends look great. Like, why trim? And then in January, I was like, oh my God, my hair, like I need to trim. And I ended up trimming off like 1 to 2 inches in some sections. So I find that the more frequently I trim, the less I actually end up trimming off. And that for me has been a huge, I guess you could call it the secret of my hair length retention, is by staying on top of my trimming. I barely trim anything off. So I retain almost all the length that I grow. Almost all, not all. And then also, of course, coupled with that, having a regimen that works well for you. That was another thing that I had to get down. Once I started getting regular trims, then I wanted to get my breakage down, because breakage that also kind of factors into not being able to retain your length. So I figured out a detangling routine that worked well for me. Products, like the timeline that I can go without detangling before I start inflicting breakage on my hair. So it's kind of like a holistic thing. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. I see that Carrie Renee is asking, do products expire 12 months from the date you open them? And that depends on the type of product you have. So like commercial products that you can buy in Walmart and Target, I know that they are required to be able to stay on the shelves for at least 2 years. But then you don't know how long it's been on the shelf. But after you open it, it can probably, it'll tell you actually. If you look at every product, it tells you how long it can stay before it goes bad. But it's about 12 to 24 months, which is 1 to 2 years, depending on like how much of that product is made up of preservatives. So like for me, I like to use like very, very natural products. So their shelf life is usually about 1 year to 1.5 years. Malicious Me says, I've watched all your videos and I honestly don't have any questions about my hair. I've learned everything I know due to your videos. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, sis. I'm so happy that you have gotten clarity with your hair. I feel like that is like the best feeling, when you just know what you're doing and you can just stick to it and you're getting the results and like, you know, everything is cleared up. So I'm happy that you have that. So let's see, I'm going to answer a few more. Militia says, I just ordered my curl origins. Thank you, Devin. Devin letting us know in the comments. My hair is growing everywhere but the middle. I treat it all the same, but it never grows. It won't go past 2 to 3 inches, but the rest of my hair is shoulder length and it always breaks so easy there. Felicia, it sounds like you may not understand your hair completely, so you're not giving your hair what it needs. Your hair is telling you something with the fact that it consistently breaks off at the same point. Usually when your hair has hit a growth plateau, that's letting you know that there's something missing or you're doing too much. So it really depends, but basically your hair is not getting something that it needs. And because of that, it can't move past this point. Like, we have to do something to get past this point. So you might want to go back through my videos or book curl coaching. This is literally what curl coaching is for. So I can take a really good look at your regimen and look at what is missing so we can just get right to the point within a month. So I would look over your regimen and kind of try to figure out what you might be missing. And then for the hair that is in the middle that doesn't grow, and you're saying it doesn't grow, but you treat it all the same. Like I was talking about, I had a similar situation with my crown and I had to realize that I can't treat it the same because it's a completely different texture of hair. So you might not be honoring the fact that that section of hair needs something a little bit different. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm gonna take like 3 more questions. 3 more questions. Yes. Let's see. If I wash my hair weekly using sulfate-free shampoos, but I still get itchy, would you recommend using a sulfate shampoo? I don't think that, Sia, I think it really depends on your scalp. So I have a dry, itchy scalp, and for me, my scalp does not like a lot of shampoos, not because the shampoos aren't good, but because my scalp needs specific ingredients to help it to not be dry. And so it doesn't matter whether or not it's a sulfate-free shampoo or a sulfate shampoo, it's just the type of shampoo. So I actually have a video that I just shared a few days ago that showed my whole entire wash day breakdown, where I showed a shampoo that I use that really helps with my dry, itchy scalp. So to me, this sounds more of like a scalp thing, not necessarily a hair thing. And it's really about just finding a shampoo that works well with your scalp, basically. So yeah. Smiling Danny says, hello, beautiful. Thank you for your time and doing these lives. Does shrinkage necessarily mean not moisturized? Yo, these questions are so interesting. Hair is such a enigma, like in a beautiful way. It's a beautiful mystery because it means so many different things. So shrinkage can mean that your hair isn't moisturized, but it can also mean that your hair is moisturized. The thing about curly hair is that it naturally will shrink simply because of just the nature of like the physical pattern of your texture. Like it's not straight, it literally shrinks up. So when your hair is properly moisturized and you have curly hair, you want that spring factor. Like it should kind of like, you pull it and then it springs back up. Oh yes, pull it, springs back up. Shrinkage. But you would know that your hair is moisturized and it's shrinking because it's moisturized, because it feels moisturized. Now your hair can also shrink if it's dry, not necessarily like, it wouldn't be like boingy type shrinkage. It would more so just be your hair is drawing up. So I don't even really consider that shrinkage. It's more so just your hair is drawing up because it's looking for moisture. Like it's opening up the cuticle. It's trying to bring in moisture from the environment. And then if it's not getting it, it's kind of just like compacting on itself because it's thirsty. And that's a little bit different than shrinkage, in my opinion. So if your hair is drawing up, like looking for moisture, and it feels dry and thirsty, then you would need to moisturize it. And again, a lot of moisture, like having consistently moisturized hair, it starts on wash day. This isn't something like you can't take dry hair and then take it from dry to being moisturized. Like you have to start on your wash day to start installing the moisture through the shampoo, the deep conditioning, the layering of the products. And let's see. Let me look at a few questions before I say what I'm going to do. Okay. In personal experience, has your hair grown healthier in protective styles of braids versus twists? Just wondering because I personally seem to be drawn to braiding at weekly wash day. Is twisting more ideal? In my personal experience, my hair does prefer twist. I feel because it's a little less tension on my hair. I did used to do braids a lot, like when I first went natural, and I found that braids, I guess it was just, maybe I just braid tight. So at some point I tried twist and my hair just liked it better. And then also I prefer a twist out to a braid out. So, but the thing is I'll also do cornrows, and my hair really, really likes cornrows because then everything is completely compacted together. So it's really just, it depends. For me, it kind of can be like 1 month my hair likes twists, 1 month it likes braids, but any low manipulation style that keeps your hair compacted is good. And so it's really like your preference after that point. These are some really good questions. Can you discuss how a wash and go can be a low manipulation hairstyle? Sanya, wonderful question. A wash and go, some people's hair prefers wash and goes because it doesn't like to be twisted or braided up. It just likes to be out and free. And I find that people who prefer wash and goes as their go-to style, their hair doesn't tangle as like as easily in a wash and go. And sometimes like twists and braids actually makes their hair more tangled, which leads to breakage, and it can actually make their hair dry. So everything is personal preference when it comes to your hair. But a wash and go can be a low manipulation style. If you style your hair in a wash and go and your hair doesn't tangle, you don't get an excess of single strand knots, you're able to easily maintain moisture in a wash and go, and you do your wash and goes in a way that the curls stay kind of like clumped together so they can stay to minimize tangles, essentially. So if your wash and go ages in a way where you don't have excessive tangles and knots and like, you know, just craziness going on, it can be a low manipulation style if you aren't having to manipulate it a lot during the week. And then after your wash day, it's not like a field day trying to detangle a big ball of tangles. Melissa says, I've learned that my hair prefers wash and goes. Yeah. I do see some questions on taking care of gray hair. And with that, I feel like it needs like a whole live dedicated to it, because it's kind of like porosity. Like that's a part of your hair identity, having gray hair. And so there are certain extra steps that you would need to implement into your regimen because of that. So I've been trying to figure out like, how do I want to talk about that? That might be a masterclass that we do, because that needs like foundation building. I can't just answer that in one comment. Yes, Michelle says yes, a gray live, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take this last question, and this question is, ooh, a good one. Hope says, how do you massage your scalp without creating more frizz and tangles? You can do this. It may not be possible. Like, I'm going to be honest. For some hair types, it may not be possible. For my hair type, it's not possible, which is why I don't massage my scalp. I have fine hair that gets tangled very easily and that it frizzes very easily. So I've never been one to do scalp massages because I noticed that it actually made my roots have more knots. And another thing too, my roots will mat as they get older. And so it's almost like once I put my hair in the style, like it's in that style. I can't really change it up without having to do a whole nother wash day. So for some people, it's not possible. But for others, I would say you don't need to vigorously massage your scalp, like get in there. Like it should be like really like a massage. Like it should be like you're just trying to get the blood flowing. That's all you're doing. So you can do that with minimal finger movement. You don't need to like do all of this. You can just kind of move your hands like this. So don't necessarily move your hair around, just move your actual hands, not your fingers. And this is actually kind of working. Now that I'm doing it, yeah, and this will also help with the blood flow. So the purpose of scalp massages is just to get the blood circulating, and you can do it just how I did it. I actually feel like that probably I just busted my own myth. That would work, just not being too vigorous with it. But you can also get blood flowing by working out, by working out through heat. So I would implement, like if you can't do scalp massages without some type of frizz or just messing up your style, I would implement other ways to get your blood flowing. Hope says that might be where I failed. I was vigorous. Yeah, I know that feeling, like when you really just want something to work, you're like, super into it. So yeah, it's just about the blood flow. That's all we're doing, getting the blood to the follicles to deliver the nutrients so that the hair can grow in stronger. So, yes. Can you say how you protected your hair in twist outs? I just wear a satin bonnet. I actually have a video on my nighttime routines that gives you 3 different types of nighttime routines that I do. I gotta get off here. I can't talk tonight. 3 different nighttime routines that I do. I would just go through my channel or just type in on the computer like PowerInYourCurl nighttime routine, and it'll pop up and it'll show you how I take care of my twist outs, because I use the same method for basically all of them. But okay, so I am going to go. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this live was helpful. I'm going to be creating a schedule for the rest of the week, so that way we all know what's going to be happening, when we get here into the lives. And I am going to be doing a masterclass this week, and I'll let you guys know what masterclass I'm going to be doing when I release the schedule tomorrow. So if you want to attend the masterclass, this one will not be a free masterclass. You will have to pay $9.99 to get access into the masterclass so you can get all the information. And that's going to be taking place near the end of the week, so you guys can kind of prepare your coins. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. There was one thing that I wanted to talk about before I leave, and that is why I took a break over the weekend, because I'm actually going to be taking breaks over the weekend from now on, moving forward. So moving forward, the lives are gonna happen from Monday through Friday, and then I'm gonna take a break over the weekend so I could just regroup and get my energy, you know, back to full. But this weekend in particular, I actually took a break because it was the start of like my moon cycle, and I have really been getting into like natural remedies for the pain and the discomfort around those times. And it's been working. Like I really want to do a video about it if you guys are interested in it, because I haven't taken aspirin all year. I did take an aspirin in December because it was on Christmas and I was just like, I can't deal. But besides that, like I think it's been like 6 or 7 months before like without me using like any medicine or period cramps. Essentially, I use like completely all natural methods, and I like to really allow like the start of my cycle to be like a spiritual time for me to really feel into my body and feel what's happening. And like I feel that we're often told to just kind of keep moving at the same pace when we're going through this like this period of transmutation. Like you're clearing your womb, you're getting rid of the old, and you're making space for new. And I feel like it's really important to honor that. And so that's why I took a break this weekend, because I wanted to really like make space for pouring into my cup. And I'm glad that I did, because so many ideas came to me during that time. Like literally a new business idea came to me, different YouTube videos that I can do for you all came to me. Like so many downloads happened just as I was just kind of feeling into my body and taking care of me. And it was a great break. Sometimes in order to move forward, you have to kind of step back a little bit. So you guys are saying that you want to hear it. So I might do a video on it. I'm excited. So yeah, that's why I took a break, and you guys might see a video on natural remedies for period pain that really work, because they really, really do. And do I listen to binaural beats? I don't. I listened to them before, but not specifically for natural healing. Maybe I'll look into that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go though. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram, and make sure you get your porosity class if you haven't already gotten that replay. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.